Hey, ProdigiousTrip here. I review anything and everything. And today we're going to do another spoiler corner. We're actually going to go into the show of Halo. Halo came out, I think, about a year ago on Paramount Plus. I remember I didn't actually have the show, or I didn't have the subscription or the app for it or whatever, so I never got a chance to watch it. I watched it after it came out. Maybe about like as soon as it came out the last episode, I made sure to watch it because I had to see it because I love Halo. I love the video games. I have been a huge Halo fan since it came out for the original Xbox. And I think I need to give a few backstories about the Halo game before I can start talking about the Halo show. So just bear with me. This one might be a long one just because I love Halo and I'd like to talk about it. So I brought Master Chief with me. He's here today to protect me from the Covenant. And I also got some snacks. All right. See what snacks we got today. We got, oh yeah, popcorn. All right. So let's just dig in, shall we? First of all, if you don't know anything about Halo, again, it started off as a video game. It's a first-person shooter. And if you don't know what that means, in a video game, a first-person shooter is basically your eyes are the screen. And basically all you're going to see is the gun at the bottom of the screen as it moves back and forth, shooting people, and you can see it reloading and stuff. That's basically all you see. That's why it's called a first-person shooter. They've had other first-person shooter games before Halo, but for some reason, it really did change after that. Before, you had, I think, Doom was like one of the original ones that came out for like the Super Nintendo and stuff like that, where again you were fighting, you were shooting at demons, but I mean, again, it could be the same as fighting aliens. GoldenEye was one of the very, very popular ones. You're a spy, shooting bad guys, which is, believe me, it's fun. That was a great game. But there was something different about Halo when it came out. It wasn't just because you were shooting aliens. It was mainly because of not just the gameplay was fun, but I think it was the story that was behind it. So a lot of science fiction, and it created this whole... Halo has created this massive universe within its genre, and it has really just changed the way for a lot of video games. One of the things I can say is playing video games online is nothing new. But when it comes to playing certain games online, I know usually people are talking, when they talk about like first-person shooters, they're like, hey, let's go play Call of Duty or Halo. I think there's other games out there that you could play online for first-person shooters, but those two are like the main ones, Halo and Call of Duty. And I think Halo came out first, and it was originally, since it was on the Xbox, you could not play stuff online yet. I think when they came out with Halo 2, that's when you could start playing games online, or at least had the ability to. I can't remember. I think it was Halo 2. And, but each game added so much more to not only the lore or the backstory to this character of Master Chief, who's the main character of the story, but you learn more about this world, this environment. Most games, again, I hear people all the time, like, when I get off work, I don't want to play a story. I just want to play a game to, just pass the time or just to unwind. And I get that, believe me. I like playing Mario Kart. That's how I unwind. And play Halo online. And instead of playing a campaign or whatever, you just go online and you can play with your friends and just shoot each other. Like, so me and my friends do. We're all married. We're all, late 30s trying to just, get by. And sometimes a day just like, you have to have those days where you're like, hey, let's just go online and shoot each other. It's a thing. And so a lot of people have other games they like to play, and me and my friends, we grew up playing Halo, so that's what we did. And I think in the games they do explain a lot of their, I want to say, the different worlds, different backstories for all these characters and stuff. The show is going to take a different approach, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I do think, for the most part, let me just say about the show, I loved it. I really did like the show. Like, In the previews for this show, they were talking about like, oh, Master Chief's going to take his helmet off. In the games, he never does that, so it's the whole like, oh, it's a mystery of who he is, and you never see his face. So in the show, when they talked about taking it off, I know a lot of people who were just like, oh, that's it, I'm not going to watch it because Master Chief takes his helmet off. I didn't have a problem with that, and the way they do it in the show, I'll talk about it later too. It's not bad. It doesn't take away from the way that the game was set up. This is basically how it's setting up for its own. Again, for the show is a little different from the game, but they incorporated so much from the game into the show that I have so much respect for, because I think 343, who are the guys that who make Halo and stuff like that, the games, I think they had a hand in making this show. So down to the armor, the sound effects, like the way these characters look, their Spartan armor and everything, it's dead on. Like that's how it's supposed to look. Like sometimes when a video game is adapted to a TV show or into a movie, they don't do a good job. And it's only recently that video game movies have become great. I think it started off with a few years ago they did Detective Pikachu, and again everyone was thinking like, oh man, this movie's gonna suck because again video game movies usually don't do too well. And Detective Pikachu was so successful that I know that Sonic the Hedgehog came out and that was great. Yeah, I had a few problems with that movie too, but at the same time, it was better than what I thought it was going to be. And then, of course, Super Mario Brothers, the movie that came out this year. Oh my goodness, that was probably one of the greatest superhero or super video game movies of all time, and it did so well. It blew everyone away. It was beyond what we thought it was going to be. So there is a way to translate video games into movies, into TV shows, and make them good. And so, again, like I said, I've always played the game, love the games. I know some people who have played the games for so long, but they only play them online. So they're just like, I've never played the story or the campaign, so I have no idea what the characters are about, what's going on. They have made these little, I want to say side movies. They're like made for TV movies kind of thing. There was a Halo 4 Unto Dawn. There was the Forward Unto Dawn. Sorry. That was a movie, I think, that came out when Halo 4 came out. To give a backstory for, I think, the captain of one of the ships, and how he became the captain and his backstory, which is fine. It wasn't a horrible movie. It was just, again, it was all right. They did a couple animated movies. The Legends, or Halo Legends, was one of the ones that did kind of like how the Matrix Animatrix did, where it had like different little cartoons of different versions of the show that can give a backstory of characters and stuff. Gave a lot of stuff that you didn't know about the game, and about the Halo rings, about the Spartans and stuff. And so it's really good to know about all that, because in the show, that's what they're going to talk about, is a lot of that Spartan, who they are, what they were meant for, and what's going on in this universe. And so, just to give you a little backstory before the movie starts, or before the show starts, or before I dig into it, sorry. The Spartans are these super soldiers. They were, people who are engineered to be the super soldier. They have been enhanced for combat. They get this special armor called Mjolnir, which I thought was kind of interesting, because it's kind of like, that's the name of Thor's hammer. And they don't do it in the game, but again, Master Chief never even takes his armor off in the game too. So in the show, they actually show you how they take it off, and it kind of looks like Iron Man's setup, where you have you're like this, it looks like a ring, and the little arms come off, and they take the pieces of the armor off, and they put them on you just like they did in Iron Man. So I like how there's those callbacks to at least other shows or comics or whatever about armor and stuff. So I did have a appreciation for that. So let's just dig into the movie, or to the show, and I'll tell you about the difference between maybe the game and the show and how they correlate. But for the most part, the show, like I said, it starts off really good too. You're on a planet called Madrigal, and you meet the main character. Her name is Quan. She is, I guess, the daughter of the guy that runs the planet. I don't know if he's a king or if he's just the guy in charge or whatever. They never say president or anything like that either, so he's just the guy in charge. And all of a sudden, Quan, she's out with her friends in the forest area or whatever, and they're picking berries or something, but they're talking about like how I guess they're supposed to get high or something. I don't know. Anywho, all of a sudden, she looks and she sees that there's like an alien or something in the background. I guess I've never seen him before. And all of a sudden, boom, blood just like shoots right onto her from her friend getting blown up. And I had to admit, I was really surprised at like the level of gratuity that they showed in this. This is like, they show people getting stabbed, blown up, beheaded. And I mean, it's very gory. So like if if you have a weak stomach, don't watch it. But again, just like in the video game, you're shooting aliens, you're killing the bad guys. So, I mean, it's just, sometimes when you shoot them, they blow up. And so the Covenant, as the bad guys are called, or the aliens that are, they're taking over the universe, whatever, they land on Madrigal and they attack this, I don't know if it's an outpost or what, or if it's supposed to be some kind of mining facility, I guess. Not really sure. But it's just like a little campsite on this planet. And the Covenant are trying to extract something that's underneath it. But obviously they just want to kill everything around it. So all the humans and stuff that are on the planet, or at least like in that general vicinity, are attacked. And, Kiwan's trying to, hide herself. She's hiding underneath a vehicle. She sees that her dad's almost getting killed. The Covenant just starts shooting and killing everybody. And then all of a sudden you see a Pelican, the ships of the UNSC are called the Pelican. And you actually see one of the ships flying over, and all of a sudden you see 4 things fall on the ground, and boom, one of them is Master Chief, and the other 3 are Spartans. Let's put it that way. In the video game, again, I'm going to talk about the show and the video game of what's different, what's good, what's bad. I'm going to try to get through this quick. I know sometimes it might take a while, but one of the things is, in the game, I think it was Halo 5 Guardians, you actually meet Master Chief and his team. One of them is named Kelly. Can't remember the name of the other 2. But they're going after Locke and his team in Halo 5, or Locke is going after his team, whatever. But they have this team of Spartans that are with Master Chief, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. In this show, Master Chief's team is called, Silver Team, I think. And those characters are not the same ones in the show, which, again, I don't have a problem with. I'm just trying to make sure that if you do play the games, that you're not going to be like, oh, hey, that's the same team that was in the game. It's like, no. The only name of the character that you know of is just going to be Master Chief. And then there's 2 other people. There's 3 other people, or 3 other Spartans. Is going to be Vanak. Yeah, I know. Weird name. Vanak, Riz, and Kaya. Or Kai, whatever. They're his team. That's all really you need to know about them, because they never really, I think they do take their helmets off. At least not in this first episode. But I had to actually put the caption on, because I didn't know what some of these names were, so I had to say, so it's Vanak or Vinak. Riz and Kai. They're his team. And they do a great job too. Like they're running around, they're shooting, they're doing the thing. Again, they're doing the things that you want to see a Spartan do. He has the same guns that he would from, the show or from the video game. So he has the assault rifle and he has his pistol too. And so he's going around, he's shooting, they're just basically there to kill the Covenant. They actually don't find any survivors. I mean, it's a big battle too. It really is awesome. And of course, the leader of this group, Quan's dad, he's killed. Actually really cool too. An elite picks him up and takes the energy sword and stabs him with it. So I was like, okay, they're going into more of the weapons and the characters and stuff, and I do like it. Again, they fail at trying to save everybody. The only person that survives is Quan, and she, wants to know what the Spartans are doing there because she's only been told that Spartans are bad. The UNSC, it's a government organization. They're bad. They're evil. Blah blah blah. The planet that she's on is trying to be separate from the rest of the UNSC, which is like I guess a government that's they're not trying to take over the universe, but they're spread out, so they're trying to have a government in this universe. It kind of reminds me of all the stuff from like Star Wars, where they have like they have these people on this planet who do one of the I don't know what they were called, I can't remember, but it was just like I'm like some of their stories almost sound similar, and I'm just like, really, you have like separatists on a planet that you're trying to stop and blah blah blah, whatever. So the Spartans try to figure out why the Covenant was there, so they go see that there's this underground artifact that they were trying to get. And so Master Chief touches it. And as soon as he touches it, he has all these images floating to his head, and this artifact kind of like lights up. But nobody else that touches it, it doesn't do anything. For some odd reason, it's just Master Chief. And so he gets all these images in his head. He's now a little boy at home. He sees a dog. He sees his parents. He's having these weird flashbacks, and all the Spartans are being monitored by Halsey. She's the professor. She's the one that created the Spartans in the Spartan program. So she learns about the artifact, and she wants, she knows that John had this vision, and so she's like, well, let's make sure this let's just see what's going on in your head. And so Master Chief takes Quan in the Pelican, and the other three Spartans, they actually take a Phantom ship that the Covenant, obviously since they killed all the Covenant, their ship was left over, so they take that ship and they take it back to Reach. And Planet Reach was, I think it was from Halo Reach. And that was one of the very first, I think that was my favorite Halo game, was Halo Reach. And I don't think it has anything to do with the planet that they're actually on, but there's a lot of correlation from that in the games. So the planet that they're on is Reach, or the UNSC that they're going to is Planet Reach. So Master Chief is still with Quan, heading back to the planet. And on the planet, you see Halsey. She has been reviewing all the footage that she saw Master Chief do. And Master Chief to her is like her, I don't know, her baby. Like, this is like her thing. Like, she loves Master Chief. She thinks he's the best thing she ever created. And this is where you learn more about the Spartans, that the Spartans were actually you created to fight insurrectionists. These are people who don't like the UNSC or who are rebels against them. And the Spartan program is basically the super soldier program to stop these guys. So they're given this armor and advanced weapons, and they're used to, protect whoever they're told to protect. Even the UNSC leaders, they could give the orders to the Spartans, but when Halsey gives them an order, it supersedes the government itself, because she created them, so they'll listen to her above everybody else, which is, you'll see that it gets pretty interesting. So she tells the Spartan, she goes, look, when Master Chief lands, because the three Spartans, they got there before Master Chief did. So Halsey tells them, like, look, before, you protect John, because that's Master Chief's name is John. She says, you protect him above everything else, even if the other, the other soldiers or whatever try to stop him or anything. While he's on approach, or I just say flying with Quan, they get to know each other a little bit better. She thinks that he's evil, that the UNSC is evil, and John's trying to tell her, he's like, look, that's not what we are. That's not who I am. I'm just a soldier trying to do what he's supposed to do. But he's been having these images and stuff in his head, and so he's now starting to question everything. He's not understanding, why are we doing certain things? He's given a direct order actually to kill Quan, because Again, her father was this political leader on this planet, and they're trying to help her, and she doesn't want the help. She wants her planet magical, which this is the part of the show I don't like. I really could care less about this planet magical and about this girl, Quan. I don't care about her at all. The story focuses on her a lot, trying to say, like, oh, you got to protect this planet called magical, and you got to watch over this girl. It's a really big thing, and I really could care less about it. But for the most part, in the first episode, this is what her what she's doing. Says she's the last of her, whatever her namesake, and so she's trying to tell the UNSC is like, look, I just want peace or magical. I don't want you guys there. My dad didn't want you on that planet. We just want to be separate. We want to be left alone. And they're trying to tell him is like, look, the Covenant is the alien race that came to attack them. There's like, look, you need our help. You need our protection. And she doesn't want it. So the higher ups are like, well, fine, just kill her. So Master Chief has actually given an order to take her out. But he, again, yes, he does follow orders, but now he's starting to question certain things. And he decides that he's going to protect her. So he takes out all the cameras in the ship. And somehow they're actually able to remote access his armor and the ship. So they try to take out the oxygen or lower the oxygen so it makes him pass out or die or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Future sci-fi stuff. So he's able to at least, pull himself together and, restore the air to his armor as well as to the ship. Or restore the air. And so now, as the ship is on approach, again, the 3 Spartans are now the whole government's already like, okay, we get all our soldiers, we're going to arrest Master Chief when he lands because he disobeyed a direct order. And so you see all these soldiers, all these guns, all these tanks, all these warthogs, again, straight from the game, which is great. I love how they actually kept them the way that they look in the game and they put them in the show. And so all these soldiers already, they're out like, if they see the ship about to land and they're like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to arrest Master Chief. And again, you have the 3 Spartans that are sitting right there. Like, again, you can't see their faces, but you can tell that they're just like, we will kill everybody here if we have to, because that was their orders from General or I don't know if her name is General, but just Professor Halsey. And the ship lands, and Master Chief is like, we got to get off this planet. I can't protect you here. And right before he, decides that he's, I don't know why, but he decides he's going to touch the artifact again. And again, it just like, he touches it, and it lights up. It lights him up too, which is weird. Gives him these memories of what's going on, like as a kid or something. And all of a sudden, it emits an EMP burst, which takes out an electromagnetic pulse, which takes out everything like around him, but his ship powers up. Don't understand that. So the ship now has power. He gets into it and he flies away. Of course, everything else doesn't have power. And, Halsey is just like, her eyes are just like, oh, like a fat kid sees cake. Like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that artifact. And, one of the generals or the higher ups is talking to her, and actually she's in her lab, and they're like, look, you got to figure out what's going on with Master Chief and fix him, or we have to kill him. And then she looks into this door and says, you can't be doing this stuff either. So either get rid of that or we're getting rid of you. And you find out that she's also into cloning, which again, I'll go into probably later on the next episode or whatever too, because that plays a big part of this story. And so that was the first episode. Again, what was good and bad was, again, I really could care less about this magical planet. It doesn't have anything to do with the overall story of what Halo is supposed to be about anyway. It's just trying to give you a character to care about while Master Chief has to do something. And there's even side stories throughout the next couple episodes too, where it focuses on her, Quan, and Magical. And I'm just like, I don't care. I'd rather just see what's going on with Master Chief and his story and everything. I don't want to know about what's going on with this girl. But again, it's just nitpicking because, again, the rest of it is really good. I do love the storyline and what they're going with this. Again, all the stuff that they did for making how the characters look, their armor, the ships, the warthogs, the vehicles in the game. That's what they did for the show too. Like, it looks just like it. The way to the guns, the sounds. Just even when when Master Chief gets hit, you can see him hiding behind something. You hear his armor rebooting. And you see the shields coming back up. It's the same sound as from the game. I'm like, okay, good. So they kept that in. They kept a lot of good stuff in. So even the aliens, they look, oh man, the Covenant, just like, it was really cool to see it in a live action thing. Again, I know it's all CGI and stuff, but still, it looked really cool. And for those of you who don't know what the Covenant is like a group of aliens that have come together to basically, I think, take over the universe. And they know that the UNSC is basically their biggest rival. And Master Chief, since he's they know that the Spartans are their greatest weapons. And so they call Master Chief the Demon because they're afraid of him. Because, again, Master Chief takes out pretty much all their armies every time they attack. You do see at the Covenant, the hierarchy, or the High Charity, I'm sorry. That's the name of their base. You see some of these, I don't know if they're like priests or whatever, but they're the some of the main Covenant bad guys. They talk to a human. It's this human girl, and they call her the Blessed One. Apparently they found her as a girl, but for some odd reason, what she can do is she can touch the artifact just like Master Chief. So they're like, we got to get this. We got to figure out a way to get these artifacts. There's 2 of them. So they're trying to get these artifacts and bring them together. That's the main story or the focus. But her backstory is kind of weird. It's just they found her as a kid, but just because she can do, again, if they just found this artifact, I don't know what they saw in her as a kid, and they've had her all these years. She's even speaking their language and stuff too, saying that she's going to help them find these artifacts and whatever. So that was the first episode. It wasn't bad. It was a good episode to get started, to introduce all these characters and stuff. Again, not really feeling this whole Quan thing and this magical planet, but everything else is really great. I love the way that when they show Reach, the planet. Oh man, it really does kind of look like how they did in the video game. Very obviously, everything looks futuristic and stuff, and just the way that they make everything look and sound is definitely from the game, except for Halsey. I don't think they could get the actor, or I mean, again, they got some of the voice actors that played some of the characters, but it was still good. So yeah, so that was episode 1. So hopefully stick around. We'll talk about episode 2. I think there's 9 episodes altogether, and hopefully we'll enjoy them. And yeah, you have a good night. See you later.